recess out of regular council.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are out of regular council.
A motion to reconvene?
Make a motion to reconvene the service meeting.
Second.
A first and a second to reconvene the service committee meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We are back in our service committee meeting. Item 6, new business. Item A, T7954, adopt 2025 fourth quarter code updates. Ms. Kramer.
This is our quarterly adoption of the changes to the codes. They were the original changes were made by council, then our codifying agent put them into our code book. It's online, and if there were any state, like traffic or general changes, that would have been included too, but I don't think there were any this past quarter. So this is just standard.
Once.
Mr. Mayor. Your mic.
In light of the fact that we only got 5 of you here, we can't do anything on emergency tonight.
True, we can still
Right,
send
we'll
it to
just send it-
council and do first reading.
First read.
Yeah, make it
Which is
first reading.
fine. This one
Yeah,
doesn't have to be emergency.
but don't you have to remove the emergency out of the,
No, because if we have everybody at the next meeting, we could still adopt it by emergency. It's no reason to amend the document.
good, excellent.
If there's no further question, I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council on first read.
Second.
First and a second to move this to tonight's full council on first read. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this item has been moved. Item B, T7955, extend mowing contract with ESK Landscaping for 2026. Mr. Bill Miller.
At the end of last year, I had to update our maps because when I put them together, I was a little bit off on a few things and we had a little extra to mow. So we thought it was best to bring back the contract. It was actually an additional $418.51 per cut. So I just wanted to bring this 2026 and 2027 contract up to date with the new ordinance reflecting that.
The amounts are the same, then going across all 3 years, correct? That's how it reads?
Yeah.
Yes? No increases? Okay.
There's no further
I just
discussion.
had a quick question.
Sorry.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Miller. I just wanted, I know at one point last year we brought up, just some different concerns people had brought up in the community, specifically about like the cemetery that was being cut. I just wondered if some of those things were addressed.
Yes, those were all addressed. We had some issues up front, in the middle, but towards the end of it, everything seemed to work out and.
Yeah.
So I
What
don't,
was it? I think it was like when it was real dry or something. Didn't they like mow it real? Well,
well,
they do
when it was
something?
real wet, we
okay.
had issues at the beginning of the season was real wet.
Yeah.
So that was not only leaving a mess for the grass, but it was sticking to all the headstones. and
Right.
That was just part of the first part of the season.
Yeah.
Did have a few various weed whipping issues and that, but we resolved them all, and I'm comfortable going back to them and let them do it this year.
Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council as first read.
Second.
Motion and a second to move this to tonight's full council's first read. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this item has been moved. Item C, introduction, transmittal of sign code update. Mr. Cheskowski.
Thank you, Ms. Glenn, members of council. As noted in my cover letter, the purpose for tonight is simply to formally transmit the sign code update to council for review. I have been coordinating with Caroline on the schedule for the public hearing, as well as reaching out to the consultant, Wendy Moeller from Compass Point Planning. I think I had alluded to it in the email that I just noticed was mentioned or included in your packet. We have scheduled the public hearing on the sign code update for the April 13th Service Committee meeting, or before the April 13th Service Committee meeting. I have also confirmed that Wendy Moeller can be present to provide an overview presentation and answer any questions that council members may have relative to the draft that's in your packet tonight. Understanding that it was an entire chapter of new text to replace our existing chapter, I didn't feel it was proper to even put legislation before you for first read. the thought there was to give you time to review it and be prepared to answer or ask questions of the consultant when she is here. She will be here in person, as I said, at the April 13th meeting. This has been a long time coming. We've gone through probably 3 or 4 different drafts with the consultant. Had some good conversations at the Planning Commission level. I feel comfortable with where the draft is at. I think we made some good upgrades to it, added a lot of visual elements that weren't in the previous code. There were not major policy changes throughout. In other words, we did not make humongous changes to the size of ground signs that are permitted so as not to create a bunch of nonconformities as a result of the new code being in place. We did add some provisions for additional wall signage, particularly on properties that have visibility from 2 frontages. Understanding that a lot of our previous variance applications were individuals seeking a second sign when they had frontage that was visible from 2 separate rights-of-way. Our current code only permits 1 wall sign by right. As is usually the case for a business that has visibility on 2 rights-of-way, they want wall signage facing both roads. And so that's one example of a code change that we made. We did put a cap on the total amount of signage, wall signage, to accommodate for our very large retail establishments. It's been a bit of a learning process for me to go through creation of a code that's content neutral, as this code is, which is why I'd like the consultant here to provide an overview to council. She does this all day, every day in communities throughout the country, and she's a very good speaker. So I'd like it if council could spend the next month reviewing the text. Certainly, if you have any specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, but be prepared following your review to ask any questions at the April 13th meeting. At that point, we will also present legislation for first read.
Thank you, Mr. Chaskowski. Any discussion? Yes? Yes, Mr. Lampa.
Mr. Chakowski, I read through some of this feather signs. Let's talk about those. So are we allowing those now?
So I don't want to misspeak. We are allowing them in a limited manner. We do not currently allow them. We are allowing them in a limited manner.
And I'm assuming the feather signs are all the vape shops with their signs flying.
That's where I see them, yes.
Yeah, it's the sign that comes up and flaps in the wind. Yeah, they're currently prohibited. If you look at the table on page 34, it mentions feather signs, approved temporary uses. And the idea there was to allow them for temporary uses, i.e. food trucks, things of that nature. Bear with me here, I just want to make sure I'm not misspeaking. And during like grand openings for 7 days following the opening of a new establishment, but to not permit them to be prolific throughout the city. So on a temporary basis for those two types of events.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
If there's no further discussion,
It's just a discussion item, so we can just.
Yeah, we didn't even include legislation, wanted to give council time to review the draft.
We should get a motion, Mary Ann, to move it to the next service meeting of April 13.
I'll make a motion to move this to the, what is it, April 13th?
Next service committee meeting.
Next service committee meeting.
Second.
I have a first and a second to move this to the next service committee meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this item has been moved to next month's service committee meeting.
Thank you.
Item D, T 7956, contract with Bricker Legal Firm for CVB research. Mr. Grandinetti.
Thank you. This piece is to formally engage Bricker and Eckler for legal research into the city and our CVB's compliance with applicable laws pertaining to the bed tax. Again, this firm has, in my opinion, some of the best public finance expertise, and I feel that retaining this firm would best suit the needs of our community to ensure that we are utilizing the best strategies going forward.
Any discussion?
If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council on first read.
Second.
First and a second to move this to tonight's full council on first read. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this item has been moved. I'm going to put both of these together. Is that okay? Okay. Item E, T7957, go to bid for site work for City Center Playground area. And item F, T7958, contract for City Center Playground manufacturing and installation. Ms. Edgar.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Glenn. So we have been putting plans together for the city center playground area, and it is in two parts, specifically because when we were putting the information together and putting the bid packet and stuff together, it was really imperative that we pulled out the playground component itself. That gave us a lot of flexibility and a lot of say on the specifics of the playground that we get. So versus it being just part of the bid doc, companies that would get this could put a comparable, features versus we wanted to have control of the specifics. By doing that also, we were able to reduce overall cost of what would go to bid, down the $465,000. So ultimately, those construction, general conditions, bonds and insurances, all of those line items that are a percentage of the overall project costs are greatly reduced by doing that as well. With also pulling the playground component out, we are part of Omnia Purchasing, which a lot of playground companies also are part of these purchasing co-ops. So we are able to get state pricing that way, which off of the piece you're looking at, saved us $128,000 of what it would have been if we would have kept it in the bid packet. So what you see to go to bid includes site work, such as drainage, any of the aggregate, benches, trash receptacles, landscaping, all of those sorts of components. And because of the savings that we were able to make up in other areas, we were also able to include irrigation in that as well. So with that total comes to 201, I'm asking to go into bid not to exceed 202,000.
Did you want to also discuss the equipment then?
Yeah, we can discuss.
While we're kind of talking about, it's all kind of the same, it's the same project, so.
Correct. It is the same project, just split into two, obviously, components. So the playground, when you talk about inclusivity and adaptability and things like that, accessibility, there's your standard, your basics, right? And then there's going, really diving into what that truly means for individuals who may be suffering from special needs or need special accommodations and things like that. So the features that you see in front of you in this design, they are as inclusive as you can possibly get. So some of the costs did go up a little bit from the initial design, but that is because we are doing a poured-in-place rubber surfacing that is the gold standard when it comes to ADA accessibility. It doesn't mean anything to have these components that are accessible if you can't get to them, right? So the mobility, the stability, all of that good stuff. With this component, we also have several ground level events and ramps. So the ramp structures, so obviously children or individuals who have mobility challenges, it's easier for them to access. If they're not comfortable with that, there are, like I said, several ground level events for them to get up to that eliminates that barrier for them as well. Things like high contrast pieces, so the blue and the yellow, it's perfect that it's Streetsboro colors. It's also very functional that, if you have visibility challenges, you can see the difference in the features on the playground, you can see the difference between the contrast of the surfacing, all of those are components as well. We've also included American Sign Language panels, communication panels, and a slew of other sensory-specific things. There's ADA swings. We've even incorporated an ADA seat for the zip line there, and a merry-go-round that is flat surfacing, so you can literally roll onto it or walk onto it, and there's no barrier there. So, you know, it's like I said, it's one thing to be inclusive, but to really have these components integrated into play to where, you know, if your child are playing together, they're not even going to notice the difference, right? That's the whole point behind it, right? How do we make it as inclusive as possible? So any questions on any of that stuff?
The rubber surface, the poured rubber surface, does that come with is that like a lifetime warranty? Is there a warranty on that? How long does that last?
Depending on foot traffic, which we do expect a high volume of users, right? Typically around 10 years, you start to see some wear. It is easy to patch, and it is recommended that every 5 years you go over it with a new adhesive, which is something that our guys could do in-house.
Is that sort of like a sealer type of a thing?
Yep, essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike, if you want to go first.
ahead,
I just
John.
had a couple questions. This one specifically is about the site work. When we go to bid, I'm assuming that's like an outside company that would bid on that.
Yep.
Is there, and I'll always ask this too, because I know our service department does a great job with things, but is there anything that our service department is able to handle to maybe lighten the cost a little bit? I don't know if there's been a conversation about that, like what, I just, you know, if that's something, I'm not expecting an answer, right? It's just, you know, if Bill's can think of something along the lines of, you know, drainage, sidewalk, something, you know, that service guys can do to help and I know they're busy, right? I'm not saying that, I'm not just reverting to that as an all-time option, but I do know that we have some talented people.
Okay.
I don't know, a couple people raised their hands.
Mr. Miller first, saw your hand.
Yeah, that's actually as great as the service department does. For insurance purposes, I would not Frankenstein a project like that together because our people who underwrite our insurance would probably be very concerned that a qualified
Right.
contractor who knew how to put in the play structure, we would probably want that to be very tied
Well,
up.
I guess I wasn't
contractor.
necessarily referring to the installation of the play structure. I was more so worried about, or pertaining to like the site work of the project, you know, getting it prepped, putting sidewalks in, whatever can be done.
My concern is about the play structure. I wouldn't know on the sidewalk portion.
My concern with that would be more of the timeline.
Yeah.
The contractor would be acting as the GC for the whole site in its entirety.
Right.
So their crews are gonna be on it, they're gonna be ready, they're already gonna have their supply, they're already gonna have
Yeah.
mobilization, all of that stuff. I would say with all hands on deck, as many as there are, just let it be with that, within that.
Mr. Amalia, do you have a comment?
Thank you, I do. We receive a small allocation of community development block grant dollars every 2 years. We use most of that money for senior services, specifically for cutting the lawns. We've got some money left over in a demolition account. I'm going to be making a recommendation to you guys in the near future as soon as the County Regional Planning Commission decides to get back to me, that we will take that money out and transfer it into a capital improvements budget, and we will use that $12,000 to $15,000 to have Bill create a sidewalk from the tail end of the parking lot leading out to Russell Drive. So he is involved. There is part of this bigger project. Bill, I think I got you for like a week, right, at some point. So we will be using CDBG dollars. We will be using the service department for the larger scale stuff. I don't know about this, but yeah.
I do have something else as well. I originally wasn't going to ask this question, but you brought up a good point, Ms. Edgar. In terms of like the lifespan of the surface, what is the average lifespan of the play structure? Do you have an idea? Or I mean, I know some of the playgrounds that we've had in the city have lasted a while. I'm just generally curious.
The metal components That's around 25 years. So like the blue playground that we decommissioned, that had been there well over its 25 years, right? That's the condition is in. One thing that I truly appreciate about Game Time and DWA Recreation is that a lot of their pieces, they continue. So even if in, 15 years the slide cracks or things like that, that we can, obviously, you're gonna have some maintenance, right? You're gonna have some repairs, that they keep the majority of their stuff, and we could easily get a replacement piece for that if that's the case.
And then just my last comment on the playground itself. Two things I personally like that we did with the splash pad portion of that is they put a mound in the front of it. I kind of like how it's like a buffer between the parking lot and the splash pad, or the parking lot and would be the playground, just because there's little kids. So, if that's an idea that that you can kind of just keep in the back of your mind, if that's something that the city would want to add in the front of the playground. And then also too, maybe some sunshades. I know there's some on the splash pad part. There's obviously picnic tables with that, and there's one in the actual playground, but maybe around some of the benches or something, just some additional sunshades or something to keep, because it's gonna be little kids, people are gonna be out there on sunny days. So
Absolutely. It's good
that's
feedback.
all I had.
I do appreciate all the effort you put into this, Ms. Edgar, and that you have tried to do as best you can to cut the costs. But I really think this is a lot of money I'm just going to be honest, I think this is a lot of money for a playground, and right now it's all coming out of our city funds. And Mr. O'Malley, I know you've applied for a grant related to this project. No, you have not?
I'd like your permission to do so tonight.
Right,
Haven't
okay.
yet.
Correct. It's on our Finance Committee agenda. So you are in the process of applying for a grant. I guess, could you speak about that just briefly, since we're talking about this project?
Thank you. Every 2 years, the state of Ohio releases a capital budget. We put together a grant application for $199,825-ish. And that is just to cover the base that the rubbers, what is
Poured
it?
in place rubber surface.
Poured in place rubber surfacing. Sounds so much better than chopped up Goodyear tires. That will be placed there in addition to the actual rubber itself. We're trying to make a tie between safety, not just for those who may have a physical impairment or some other sort of impairment, but also the fact that it is so close to the splash pad. I've got a bunch of very young, well, I don't say a bunch, they feel like a bunch. I have two very young children who are constantly outside playing in the hose and in the pool, the little kiddie pool. And I have mended a lot of cuts and scrapes and busted up knees. Something about kids in water. They're constantly just tripping everywhere. So we're trying to make a tie to the fact that the splash pad is within a couple of feet to this. So if somebody goes from splashing to swinging, that we can cut down a little bit, hopefully on falls. So by tying it just as one piece of the project and tying it to safety and ADA compliance, we have a better chance of securing the funds, although by certainly no means is that a guarantee. It'll largely depend on the quality and number of applications that other municipalities and political subdivisions throughout the state of Ohio submit. Is that
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Sure.
Other thoughts? Mr. Lampa?
Thank you. Ms. Edgar, I love this idea that you brought forth. I also love the fact that we could have a inclusive playground that is not within City Park when it's busy during softball season or baseball season, that kids can come here and enjoy it as well. I think that we do too many things at City Park where it gets overcrowded, where kids cannot enjoy themselves. So I applaud your efforts in this, and I think our residents deserve, even on this side of town, our residents can come, and it's a lot closer than City Park. They don't have to worry about the parking, splash pads right there, so I just wanted to throw that out. Thank you.
Mr. Hannon?
Yeah, I had a question came in my mind about the surface, and you might have mentioned this, I'm sorry, but is it soft? Like if someone, I mean, someone could still like scrape their knee, right? But it's not as like, it's not like falling on like the cut up tires or mulch or like concrete, right?
Right, there is an inherent shock absorbency to it, almost, so it is a little more cushioned than.
And then I had a question for Mr. Miller regarding the finances. And I'm sorry I don't remember this, but you know, was this budgeted for? Was it in our? It was in our 5-year plan for this year, correct?
Yes, this was as part of our original budget back in October and November that we passed, and Mrs. Egger is actually coming in under budget on this project, which is I always applaud.
Right.
Okay, but the original budget amount prior to the recent budget was 500,000, correct?
Over the years, we've had a lot of different budgets, but you know, when this whole site was designed, I think the guys who were doing it were not experts in playgrounds, and I think it was either concrete or wood chips. And I don't want to mix wood chips with a splash pad because I'm going to have to go repair the splash pad. And so, thankfully, you know, our new parks director has kind of come in and said, hey, no, this isn't, it's a playground, but if you really want to make it something that's going to be beneficial to the city, we've got to raise the budget, to which we did when we brought not only the 5-year workshop, but as well as the original budget, and we're still coming in under budget.
So the increase in the budget was basically for the, as you say it, the poured rubber surface. Is that pretty much correct, Matt?
Correct, and that's what we're seeking the grant through the state.
And Mr. Amalia, we would know approximately when, if we would receive that grant money?
It's summer. I would probably say somewhere around July.
Okay. But otherwise, right now, we have to be planning that we're going to take this out of the 401, Matt, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Mayor?
I also need to remember when we floated this the first time,
Yeah, I
it
can't,
was over 2 years ago.
good, thank you.
And I mean, with the addition of the much better surface and just the amount of inflation that we've had over the last couple years, that has probably driven the price up. The number that they gave us originally was a good number at the time. But if I remember correctly, it's been at least a couple years that we have had this in planning. It was the first time it was presented to council as an idea and as a plan was at least a couple years ago. So there is inflationary factors in there. I think Samantha's done a bang-up job on getting it in under the budget, and also to actually make it a much better park than what was originally designed for us. There's more activities in there for the kids that are unable, and I think that was a very important part of it. And you know, Mr. Lampa's idea, we wanted to bring a park downtown. This park, for the most part, granted we don't have sidewalks coming to it, but it is reachable without going across any major highways. And that really was the purpose behind it, and it goes in, it fits in with the overall plan of the city center. We'll have people able to be here. They'll be able to play in the splash pad. They'll be able to play in the playground. And you know, granted, it is a little bit more. It is more than what was originally proposed, but when you look at the inflationary factor, and when you look at the difference in a much better subsurface, there's where your difference in pricing comes from.
Ms. Wagner?
I agree with Mr. Lampa and the mayor. I love that you did this. I think it looks great. I think if we're going to do it, we might as well do it right than kind of piecing it and jing halfway and trying to fix it later. If you're going to do it, go big or go home, I guess, kind of a deal. I love that. I love where its location is, and I agree maybe add some covers, some picnic tables, because if eventually we could have ice cream trucks and things like that where the kids are kind of hanging out for for a couple hours during the summer or whatever. But I think it's great. I love where it is too. Thank you.
Mr. Hannon.
Thank you. Sorry, I have a lot of questions, but I'm just now kind of like diving deep into the site work portion of this. Kind of like what I was referring to was, total you said is a little over 201,000, but I'm kind of looking at like some stuff that like I feel like maybe the city might be able to handle. Like benches, right? $7,200 in benches. Like we have a bench program. I don't know how popular it is. Same with the trees, right? We're spending $5,000 or $4,000 in trees. Almost $9,000 in like fine grading and lawn seeding. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's kind of stuff that there's people out there that in our service department or Parks and Rec service department, right? That kind of do that stuff. I'm just throwing it out there that those I feel like those are the types of things we've had people do before to save us money. And I know that this, obviously, it could go out to bid and come out, right? Like it could come back $40,000 cheaper, but it could also come, $40,000 more. So
Yeah,
just an observation I had.
absolutely. My only hesitation with like the digging, anything that requires digging, is that we're running electrical lines, we're running new drainage systems, all of that, that the developer would have those plans of and have the knowledge of where it's actually located. That would be my hesitation with that, is if our guys go in and do it later, do we risk hitting something maybe we shouldn't?
Mr. Mayor.
Another thing we're forgetting, John, is Billy already has his guys planned out for the whole summer. And a project of this magnitude, the amount of work that would have to be done, as Samantha just said, we need to have a licensed electrician put it in. And
I didn't mention electricity once. I mentioned benches, trash receptacles, trees, and lawn seeding. I understand the electrical, right? Like I'm talking, there's $20,000 worth of benches, trees, trash receptacles, and lawn seeding. You know what I mean? Like I understand the digging, all that stuff. I'm just saying, like, there's some things that trees. We have a tree program in the city that
really don't know how a contractor would feel about coming in and doing some stuff and not doing all the stuff. And like I said, the service department over the summertime is usually their absolute busiest time of the year. We have a pretty good plan to do a lot. In fact, Billy's going to come to see if we can't rent a paver so that we can do some extensive repairs to some of the roads. And that's kind of an all hands on deck thing. And, I don't know how much time it would take to do all of the things that are listed in there, but, Billy probably wouldn't say no, but it will put him between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like a pain in the butt, but, every project, that we've had in the city, we've always, look at the thing out front, right? You guys put that beautiful flag plaza up in like 2 days. It saved the city a lot of money. Yeah, it went really fast, right? We have some talented people.
That's also fall, and they didn't have a lot on their agenda at the time. We were able to fit it in. I'll let Billy speak to it. If he says you can do it, God bless you.
Well, you got the trees, you got everything, you're gonna have warranties on the trees. When they plant them, there's a warranty on the tree, so if it dies, they're gonna come back and redo it.
Yeah.
I would just put it together. It's gonna be a package. The way to get it open the fastest would be let them do it. Let them clean it. If there's an issue with grass not growing, they're gonna come back and redo it. Just make it one-stop shopping. Let them do it. Let's get it open to the public as soon as possible. We don't wanna hold that part of it up.
Mr. Lombardo.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, before you say anything else, and I think it's a great idea. I think you have a great idea trying to get the service department to help out. We're at a point now where we need to stop putting everything on the service department. They can only do so much. Every time we do something, and I know that they're talented, but we give them everything and they do it, and then they get behind on other items. And I think we're at a point now where we're stretching our services thin, and we need to start looking at contracting this stuff out or giving them more help. So I'm against letting the service department do anything with this project. I think it's time to start letting it get done and get done right, and let Bill Miller get his service department where it needs to go.
I'm just saying, I mean, the next time we have a big project that comes up and someone says, hey, let's just have the service department do it, I'm gonna throw that same thing back.
Yeah, I agree.
else,
I agree. It's,
you know?
it's, and I'm not attacking you personally.
No, I know, I'm just saying, like, we have relied on them and they do great
Right.
work, it's just,
Right.
you know, it just seems like every time we wanna save money, we throw it at the service department, so I'm just
Yeah.
simply saying, hey, everyone here's complaining that, you know, it's over budget, it's whatever the case may be, you know, it's not what we originally planned for 2 years ago. Okay, well, let's talk about saving money,
Yeah.
and that's how you do it.
Right.
You know, I don't know how much a bench costs, but, you know, I mean, $1,800 for the memorial bench, right? You know, the city's making money off of a memorial bench, so it's not 18, I can't imagine it's, you know, some of these numbers just seem kind of crazy, so.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I just think that if it was something smaller, like 2 trees and a bench, maybe. But it seems like,
It is 2 trees, 4 benches, and 5 bigger trees, but
I do appreciate, John, that you're looking
Hold
for
on, I'm not-
savings.
I'm-
Oh, you're not finished?
I'm not
Okay,
done.
go ahead.
thank you.
I do
So-
appreciate John's
Yeah.
looking for savings, though.
Yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, I think that we need to start moving forward with either figuring out what we're gonna do with service, or, I don't know, we gotta do something, because Bill can't keep taking on all these projects. And again, I'm not attacking Mr. Hannon, I just think moving forward, I think this is a good segue for this conversation. Because he's gonna say he's gonna do it, he'll do it. And then he's gonna be behind, his crew's gonna, you know, you can only work with so much, we can only put so much work on one department, so that's all I have about that.
Mr. Lampa.
Thank you. I agree with Mr. Lombardo. Our service department is extremely busy. I did have a question for Ms. Edgar. Have we, okay, the benches that we're getting,
Yes.
how much is a bench donation for the city?
I want to say last I looked at prices was 1,600. And just, Mr. Wood and I looked at this also, you know, kind of as an overall package to see, you know, is this, you know, as a contractor, is this going to be attractive to them? Is this going to be worth, and I actually proposed that. I said, you know, we talked about, can we take out these little things? Can we do those things? However, his fear, and obviously he's the construction, you know, I just like the playground part, right? He feels that if it's going to be, you know, bid overall to make it worth their value, you may see inflation in some other areas. So ultimately, if we can look at these pieces and say, yeah, 5, you know, however many, 4 benches and 3 trees, but you might absorb that cost in other areas. So I just want to throw that out there as a possibility.
So it's pretty much a bundle price.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And have we, so the shade trees, and I'm just asking because there may be some residents out there that want to donate a tree. Is that an option in this new playground?
I don't see why out here would not be, because, you know, we do it through the other parks, but that would be a conversation. The mayor would allow it and Bill likes it. We're looking at locations.
And then my last question is, do we have any ADA accessible playground equipment in City Park?
Accessible, yes. Everything you know, the standard is that it does have to be ADA compliant. To this extent, no, we do not.
And then just lastly is, you know, I kind of agree with the mayor, prices have gone up. Back when I remember this project being thrown out there, but we did approve the budget and it was budgeted for, so.
Okay, but the thing is that the property tax situation that people are currently trying to get on the ballot for November, you know, I'm following a group social media, and it really seems like it's picking up momentum. So I'm looking at whether or not, I know we had this in the budget, it's been there for a couple years. It's a little higher now, that's been explained, but it's really more of a, in my mind, should we do this now, given what we don't know is possibly on the horizon related to property taxes?
You can't plan that way.
Well, we're going to lose, if we lose the property tax revenue, Matt, we are at what, about just shy of $3 million total, is that correct? If we add everything up?
The, if, for the property taxes, I don't, we can obviously give you some updated figures on that. I was on the phone today with, the Portage County, to which we'll be getting updated figures, but, property tax legislation is quite a bit of ways away. And, you earlier today responded to my email. We're setting up a workshop. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we've already have a pretty good plan together, but we're putting together a comprehensive plan in regards to if something like that were to happen. But what we've done for the right here, right now, we have planned out our cash flows for the entire year, and we are able to, believe me, if we were not able to do this playground, on top of what's going on with ODOT, the different cash outlays we've had there, whether it's trucks for Billy, I would let you know. That's part of my job, is to let you know when we are out of liquidity. And there is enough liquidity right now in the 401, as well as a contingency plan to absorb that. But in regards to, this is not this does not require any transfers from the 101. We are taking this purely out of capital projects.
Okay, so you are 100% comfortable with us spending this entire amount of money on this playground, and if we would lose the property tax revenue down the road, that it's not going to hinder any, say, road repairs or something that is really, higher on the importance list?
I am 100% confident in the current environment. There's a lot of rumors. If I were to, good grief, jobs report was down last week. I've got CPI coming out. I've got housing. There's a lot of indicators. What you want to do, and this is one of the things we want to talk about. You're kind of putting the cart before the horse.
Okay.
One of the things we want to work on in that workshop is, different things where we're looking at opportunities and threats and different strategies and tactics we can as a city if we were to lose property tax. Because I'd rather have this all figured out before this, if it ever does come to fruition. We would even have quite a bit of time to prepare. But on our end, our city, the way I run the finances, I'd rather prepare way ahead of time, even before this gets voted on.
That's how I think, yes.
And so I would hate to miss opportunities because just like the mayor and Sam alluded to, the prices are only going to go up.
Correct.
And this has been part of the plan, and we've actually kind of, you've missed some internal conversations with myself and the mayor. I've had to push them off. This playground. We've had to do other things. He's put the roads ahead and different things. And finally, I was able to this year say, okay, green light, we're able to go. I wouldn't give the green light if the money wasn't there. So we're able to, I say we execute this year as part of the plan. Obviously, it's not going to be great for any city or any school if property tax goes away. But again, we're putting together a plan. And we've got to continue operations as is.
Okay, thank you for that detailed explanation.
You are welcome.
Much appreciated. Mr. Mayor.
From what I've seen and read with the state legislatures, they are aware that the property tax may be voted down. They're also aware that if it does go away, that there are going to have to be things that are enacted to replace that. We are not as adversely affected as townships and villages and things like that. So you would, if it does go down, you are going to see the state legislatures act on the ability to replace some of it. Obviously, they're going to have to do something for the schools, considering that 70% of the schools' stuff comes from the state and it comes from property taxes. I think even they're smart enough to say, hey, wait a minute, we've got to do something to replace some of this stuff. I think your question, Matt, was unfair in the context that you asked them for 100% assurance. There is nothing that is 100% assured.
Well, in his mind, He satisfied me with his explanation. I'm good.
And believe me, we have had more than a few conversations about this. And, you know, we felt that this was the best avenue to go down. And we are well aware that there is a chance that the property taxes may go away. But I also think that the people in Columbus are smart enough to realize that if it does go down, they're going to have to raise sales tax or something else in order to replace some of that, to some of that stuff. And if it came to the point where we had to, I mean, obviously one of the first things that we would start to cut back, you know, in order to keep the city running, we would definitely look at areas that we could cut. And if we could cut 1 or 2% off of capital improvements, then we would have to do that. After this project on the square is done, we do not have any major road projects in the foreseeable future. And I mean for at least, we haven't even if we were given some by AMATs, it would be 5 or 6 years down the road. So most of our capital improvements are going to go back to the subdivisions and our roads to put money into it. And you know, we have been able, by having the meetings and having the conferences that we've had, to be able to afford 4 major infrastructure projects. And we've paid for them. They're there. And after this one, they'll pretty much be all done. So we have prepared ourselves. Matt is, you know, his analytics are beyond reproach. And, you know, we've looked into this, and we really have had a lot of planning. I believe it was Mr. Mishniak brought it up, and when he brought it up, we sat right down, and we started talking about where it can go and what we can do. And, you know, if Matt would have told me at the beginning of the year, no, we absolutely cannot do this, then we couldn't be able to do it. But he told it to me with a good amount of certainty that, yes, this year is the year that we should get it done. We have the ability, and that's why we put it out there.
Mr. Hannon.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you know, kind of go back to this project. You know, I definitely think it's great. It's going to complete this, you know, area, and I'm all on board for that. So, super excited about it. But I'm also an elected official, so I have to ask questions and try to, you know, save the city some money. So, if there is no other discussion, though, I know we're kind of getting down the rabbit hole of property tax and everything like that. I will make a motion to move both items, T7957 and T7958, both to full council as first read.
Second.
First and a second to move both the items to full council for first read. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, these items have been moved. Item G, T7959 MOU with school district regarding emergency municipal public communications coordination. Mr. Mayor.
A few weeks ago, Captain Grandma, it's been, what, a couple of years we've been working on it now? We've been working on emergency operations plan, and we pretty much got it finalized, and he came into the office, and we were talking about it, and we came to the realization that we have a great asset within the city that everybody can access and is available to everybody in the city, and that was 88.9 WSTB. And the idea was to get with Bob and the folks at WSTB and find a way that if something catastrophic did happen, that we would be able to reach out to the residents where all of them can get it. Not just on Nixle, not just on whatever way, but it would be available to him. So we sat down with Bob and Bob and Kevin and the Law Dogs came up with a memorandum of understanding to stipulate basically that WSTB is our emergency contact, our emergency availability. Bob can actually, and he can answer more questions if you need to, he can actually access the radio station remotely from his phone. So if we had something that we had to go out, he would be able to get it on, I mean, literally. We could have a direct line from our EOP to them to give literally up to the minute stuff. And this is just an memorandum of understanding, formalizing the agreement between the schools and the city to utilize WSTB 88.9 in that manner. If you have any questions for Bob, he's right there. And Corey, yeah, Corey's taken over. Yeah, Corey would probably be the better one.
Any questions, Mr. Hannan?
I just want to say, something, piggyback off what the mayor's saying. I mean, obviously, you guys do a great job. Work with Bob and Corey every day, so can't say enough good things about them. But, one of the questions that always comes up, I swear every year, September, tornado season, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, why don't we have tornadoes, sirens, right? Not just referring to weather-related incidents, right? But like
Anything. Hazmat,
right? Yeah.
train derailment.
But like one of the things that's unique to Streetsboro is we do have a radio station at the high school, but we also have like, so anyone on city council or anyone who gets questions every year, like why don't we have, for example, tornado sirens? Like, well, look at the different options we have. We have a radio station that is broadcasting things in emergencies, all types of emergencies and whatnot. So I'm sure you guys do a great job at broadcasting all your new projects out there. So I'm sure it'll be out there. But yeah, super excited to work with you guys in the school district about making this happen. So, and obviously, this is just a formal agreement, as you mentioned, right? But you guys have been doing it for years without any recognition. So just want to give you guys that recognition for all you do. That's all I have.
Anyone else?
If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council on first read.
Can I say something? Do you guys want to say anything? Do you guys want to talk about anything or? Yeah. No? Okay. Can you come up to the, I guess I do have a question. I'll ask a question just to inform people. But, why don't you guys introduce you? Everyone knows Bob Long, but,
Bob's
Corey.
delegating it to you.
All right, yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Corey Tootin. I'm the general manager of 88.9 WSTB.
I'd put him in charge.
Essentially.
He's now the top guy.
So just give us like an idea, basics.
Tornado warning.
Tornado, right? There's a tornado about to rip through Streetsboro. We put you guys on the air. Like what, how does something like that work? I mean, you don't have to give us all the very basic detail, but like just, how is that broadcast out to the community? Like if I'm on Facebook, do you guys like share out a link that says like, hey, listen to, Storm Tracker or whatever,
I mean, you would have your social media platforms to make sure people are tuning in to the radio station during those emergencies. But looking at like remote capabilities, we do have a lot there. In our main air studio, we have a direct access line to our phone interface. So if people were able to call in, we were able to remote in. We have 3 faculty that are able to access the station remotely, me, Bob, and our engineer, Ben Clausen. So we'd be able to log in, control any computer through there. So that'd be like the technical aspect.
Well, like a tornado warning goes out specifically, since you mentioned that. That comes out from the National Weather Service. We have our emergency alert system set up, which will automatically interrupt any program, even the DJ who's talking, and immediately as the Weather Service announces that, immediately goes out on the air.
Which is unique compared to a commercial radio station where they have the option to have that on a delay, whereas we are straight
They like to sometimes hold it for commercials, but the commercials are over, then they'll play it. We figure life's important, and a tornado coming through, you want to get it out right away.
So even if it's not us, still getting it.
And Bob is the world's most accurate forecaster.
He is.
Yeah, we let you know earlier in the day that it might happen.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of times my fiance and I are talking, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's supposed to snow today," and she's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Bob Long said it." So definitely will snow today.
Is there any other questions that you guys have for us?
Thank you for
Yes.
creating that agreement. That's great.
I didn't mean to dish you, Corey.
Oh, no.
Just so you could deal with
I do really like this agreement, not only from the fact that we have been doing this for many years now. I think it strengthens that and, puts that accountability on both parties. And there's parts of the MOU, if you've read through training and accountability, doing tabletop sessions and other review sessions with Grim, so, and other parties. That's another part I really like about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I made a motion.
That's right.
Second.
A first and a second to move this item to tonight's full council meeting. All in favor? As
Aye.
first read.
I just want to make a quick note on that too, Bob and Corey, so we don't have enough people here, right, for to pass it as emergency?
Right.
So even if the school board approves it on Thursday, right, I guess it can't go into effect right away because we don't have enough people to make it happen. Okay. I just wanted them to know.
So we can move it
Right.
to emergency the next meeting though, right?
We can, yeah,
Right,
it's
but
just,
it's still gonna be.
I don't know if your guys' expectation was for it to be passed today, passed on Thursday, then in effect like immediately on Thursday, right?
Did we do all in favor? I can't remember.
Wait,
No.
I'm confused of where we're at. Yeah, okay. As first read, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this item has been moved. Item 7, citizens' comments. Yes. Sure, come on, step right up and introduce yourself and,
Good evening. My name is Vik Sandhu. I'm running for State Rep District 35. A master's in nautical science, a 10 years merchant navy officer, married to U.S. Air Force veteran. We live in Twinsburg, a former township fiscal officer, a small business owner. I'm someone who understands how it works as a business owner and local government, how we wisely spend our taxpayers' money. And when it comes to applying for those grants, how to license with our state reps, how important state rep role is for capital budget improvements. And I totally understand things in core of that. But above that, I'm here to thank great council, doing great work for their residents, great mayor, doing great things, and our law enforcement officers keeping our businesses and residents safe and, safer every day. And I will also like to thank City of Streetsboro. I actually learned that you guys do not have a fire and a police levy. So when we were talking about property taxes, that save your resident about $300 to $500. I think every household, if I'm not wrong. And you have a great finance director there. I can relate. I used to be former township fiscal officer, so I used to be in your shoes. Any question for me and for the night? Thank you for this time.
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? Item 8, announcements. A special finance committee meeting will immediately follow this meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
First and a second to adjourn this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Oh, you have to run this one too.
I'm running this one too, yes. Let me know when you're ready, Caroline. Oh, I did get a message. I did get a message from Steve. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to call the special finance committee meeting of Monday, March 9th, 2026 to order. Caroline, can you please call roll?
Ms. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Lampa?
Here.
Ms. Glenn?
Here.
Mr. Ring? Mr. Mishniak? Mr. Hannon?
Here.
Mr. Lombardo?
Here.
Okay, before we make a motion to excuse Mr. Ring, I do want to say that I did get a message from Mr. Mishniak, and he is tied up,
I was just
so,
gonna say that, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
he texted me too.
okay.
He's tied up at work.
I guess, he said he was tied up, so might want to make a motion to excuse both.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Ring and Mr. Mishniak.
Second.
First and a second to excuse Mr. Ring and Mr. Mishniak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Mr. Ring and Mr. Mishniak are excused. Item 3, special business. Item A, T 7960, application for state capital improvement grant program, Ms. Egger and Mr. O'Malia.
Good evening. Is there anything that we've not covered that you guys would have some questions?
I'd say we're probably good.
Well,
Anyone have a question?
I did have a question about the
Okay.
grant, which is why I waited to ask until the specific item of discussion. I mean, I just wanted to put it out there just for everyone, because I did ask Patrick and Sam and Joe before the meeting, but, you know, the only concern I had about the grant was, if we applied for it and got I guess what I'm trying to say is if we paid for it, right, if we approve the purchase of the playground and then apply for the grant, like, does that kind of ruin our chance of getting the grant? Because we've already, you know, I don't want someone to look at it and say, hey, the city's already paid for this, why are we going to give them a grant? But, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, but you mentioned it's a reimbursement grant, so we
Correct.
would have to spend the money anyways.
We actually have to prove that we have the contingencies of funds available.
So it
We
might
can't.
even help us in a sense too, so.
It's helpful, I was about to say you passed it, but you can't. It's helpful that it has moved to first read, and it's helpful that we can say, I can get something from the finance director saying that the funds are available.
Okay.
My primary concern at this point is just really relating to timing. In general, it's wise for me to have a motions sheet to include with the applications, which are due Thursday.
Yeah.
Obviously, we cannot do that tonight, but we'll just see kind of how this all works out.
The reason I asked is Mary Ann and I were talking earlier, and it's like, you know, if this gives us a negative chance of getting the grant, you know, like, is it better to wait? You know, because obviously $200,000, big chunk of money. So I just wanted to double check before we.
It's a rounding error in the state budget. it's a big chunk of money to people like us, not to Columbus.
Right.
And it will really all depend as to you know, what other applications come in and how much they're asking for, and the state capital budget is largely political horse trading. So we'll just kind of apply and see where it goes.
Perfect.
Yes, Mr. Lampa.
Thank you. Mr. O'Malley, so you said the deadline is Thursday
Yes, sir.
to apply?
Uh-huh.
So if
We don't have enough.
we
for
miss
emergency.
that deadline, can we apply for something else so we're not out this grant?
Not that I'm aware of.
So wait, we have to pass it as emergency tonight?
I don't believe your rules allow for that. I think that we will
I mean,
allow me to exercise some creative thinking as the night moves on, and we'll see what we can come up with. But
I mean, we could probably get, if we really needed to, we could probably call one of these people in and just tell them to walk in, say yes, and walk right out.
I mean, it is a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when's the next round is next year, right?
nope, two. Yeah, this is. I think that we got the application. Give me 1 second here. The nice thing about having your laptop at work is you can look things up. So the application that we got from Mr. I can't pronounce his name, but the application that we got from the Ohio Senate was sent on Tuesday, February 24th. So we wouldn't have been able to have done this at the last meeting because it wasn't out. This is a very short application window.
Wow.
So there was no way for us to proactively start this because it didn't come out till the 24th.
Is it required to be approved by legislation, or could we do a motion of council?
Caroline, I like your creative thinking.
I don't know what the application rules are. Just support of council in some manner, or does it need to be legislation document? I don't know what they think.
I am, as stated, give me a little bit of time. I'm sure I'll come up with something.
And then last question, so couldn't we just
use this towards the senior lawn snow program?
No.
Isn't that what we used it for last time?
No, there's two different grant sources.
Oh.
So the community development block grant funds are coming through the federal government vis-a-vis the Housing and Urban Development Authority, which is then passed to the state, which is then passed to the county, and we get about $1.20 or something like that out of it every 2 years. State capital budget is entirely application-based and competitive. CDBG is based on the amount of low to moderate income people you have living within the community. So this is a very short window for applying, but you know, hey, these things are out of our control.
What if, seriously, what if the window didn't even fall? Like, what if
Right.
it was, like, not even a meeting week?
I just texted both of them, so hopefully one of them responds.
You asked him to come up here to vote?
I saw him texting because I was gonna do it, and he didn't, so.
It's a lot of money.
I mean, maybe Steve's available now.
He might be. I mean, we can always come
We
back.
still need to move this, right?
Right.
I mean, we could go into full council, start talking, let everyone talk, see if they get back to us, and then just.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, you guys could do that, but short of that, you're allowed to, I'm sorry, I have a migraine from down below and not thinking as quick as I normally do. Mr. Grandinetti, since you're, yeah?
I'm just reviewing the application now. I'll take a look. Just give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
For me.
Can we take like a recess?
But we still need to move
We
this,
could take
right?
a recess,
you
but yes, we have
Okay.
to move it to council.
So I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council.
We got one motion on the floor here to send us to regular council.
Okay, so, do I have a second on that motion, on Mike's motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move this item to tonight's full council meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this item has been moved.
Do you want to just finish the meeting and
Why
then
don't we just
take a
finish the
recess?
meeting and then we'll do the recess? Okay, so, announcements. A regular council meeting will immediately follow this meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
So we're just gonna recess for
Okay,
like
so
5
yes,
minutes?
do we need a,
Yes.
do we need a motion? We'll just wait.
Reconvene the next meeting until we're ready to.
That's right, because that's right, because we already,
Take a few
we already were in recess.
All right,
and then we
so
came back, so we're
I
just,
could take a potty break?
go ahead.
Yeah, we're.
Talk to Caroline.
Do I need my key to get in?
Turn off my recording.
Yeah, we're taking 5 minutes.
I think, though, you don't need your key to get back in that door, do you? It's always warm in here. Get back in there, because I swear I've gotten back in there before. So, yes. Yeah, he is. No, that's the same district. So, some woman from Aurora, her name is it Molly Schneider? Where's Tony? Tony said he knows her. She's on the Aurora School Board. I want to say it's Molly Schneider, because Steve Demetrio, like I was telling her today, is running for that other seat, which now I understand it, because the one who's in that seat is now trying to run for treasurer. I wasn't really getting it, but I think somebody told me that Demetrio was maxed out on his House of Representatives term anyway. Are we good, or do we need to try?
No, Glenard's smoking.
No, I mean, as far as, like, are we good as far as, do we need to get somebody in here?
Oh,
Change your
next
mind?
meeting, I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's Jenny and somebody else. I can't remember her name. The 23rd?
Trying to remember.
Well, Jenny Adams is coming in the next meeting.
Oh, is she? Okay. She's running against Tenlin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I think about, you know what I think about that? Should probably.
Yeah. I told them, I was like, they've had to fan the whole half of the meeting. Let's me and you take it. Yeah. I was, yeah, he said he was like super sick in bed. So.
Don't forget to turn your mic back on.
We did special finance.
We're done with that. I'm done doing meetings.
Yes.
Make a motion to reconvene regular council.
Second. Aye.
We are back in regular council. We're gonna go down to item 4. Actually, we're gonna go to disposition of minutes, item 3. Regular council meeting of February 23rd, 2026.
That in the public hearing, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Motion to accept as written?
Second.
Motion and a second to accept as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none?
We just did that.
Okay.
That was the motion, yeah. Now we're on to comments.
All right. 4, citizens' comments. Not seeing or hearing any citizens' comments. 5, reports, commissions from departments, boards. I said commissions, it's communications. All right. Chief Wayne, what do you got tonight?
Threw everybody off.
Gotta mix it up.
Unexpected start. One of these days, you're going to start on the other side of the room, and nobody
Yeah.
will know what to do.
My last meeting.
Just a couple quick things. Working on some training for the entire department. The Autism Society of Greater Akron, we've hosted at Trail Lake Park every year, one of their trunk or treat specials that they have for kids with special needs and even some adults with special needs. We've developed a pretty decent relationship with them. They're now coming in and teaching our entire department for some continuing education, and they're doing it for free, so that's been a great resource for us. Second, some of you may have seen the scams that we've posted on our social media for the parking ticket complaints. There's a couple different versions that are going around, and they have hit cities all across the entire state, so if anybody gets any of those, if they get something that we haven't posted, please forward. We'll get them out there. We'll do another posting on that in the not too far distant future. But just to anybody listening, be careful. There's a ridiculous amount of scams, and these people just want to separate you from your money, and they're getting better and better at it, and AI is not helping. And then finally, on the positive note, 2 of our officers from our department are about to become commanders on the Metro SWAT, or I'm sorry, not Metro SWAT, the Summit Metro Crash Response Team that we're a part of. There's 17 agents.
It's okay, we can come back. All right. Chief Reinholz, we'll go to you for now.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. We had a hazmat refresher class. It's put on for free, the PUCO from taxes they collected. So we invite our local industry to these hazmat classes so we get to know what they have. And as a matter of fact, one of the manufacturers has a lot of lithium-ion battery components stored in their warehouse. So we use that as an example, reviewing what they had and the potential danger. I've been practicing a lot with our mask, self-contained breathing apparatus. We have a long rectangular box with wires through it, and they block their face piece and they crawl through and try to get out of an entanglement box. We responded to Kent for basement fire with our tanker, and the mayor alluded to concerning the radio station at the high school, EOP, Emergency Operations Plan Procedures. Captain Grimm's been working on this for quite a while. The first in Portage County. We had a meeting last week with the mayor, and they evaluated all the different steps you had to have incorporated in this plan. So Captain Grimm, who's instrumental in putting this together, has a couple more pieces to put together, some dots some I's, cross some T's. Then we're going to forward to the council. I'll give you plenty of time to read it over so that we can actually get council's approval, saying that this is our emergency operations plan. And things that the succession chain of command, the mayor's in charge, if not, who's next, where your emergency operations center, management debris areas, all those things in case a tornado or high winds or flooding occurs, we have a plan in place and just implement it. So as soon as we get together, put it together, we'll be sending you out the email to read, and then hopefully we'll bring it up, depending on when we get together, maybe the 13th of April. Let's get your approval on it. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Chief Reinholz. Back to Chief Wayne. Are you okay, or should we come back?
I think I'm going to try this again. I
Okay.
haven't coughed all day. I have no idea where that came from. Anyway, the two officers from our department are being basically internally promoted on the crash team to commander and assistant commander, which is quite a feat since there's 17 agencies that are a part of the team. So pretty proud that both of our guys have put in that amount of effort in getting trained and training members of the agency that are involved to be respected enough to be voted in to be their commanders. So that is Officer Bartholomew is going to be the team commander, and Officer Herman will be an assistant. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations to those two officers. Mr. Coffin from IT, anything to report this evening?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
All right. Ms. Lockhart-Reese, anything from Human Resources?
Nothing.
Okay. Ms. Edgar from Parks and Rec?
Yes, thank you. We are currently hiring for our seasonal jobs, so we are looking for a camp counselor and a couple grounds crew workers. We are currently accepting the electrical artwork applications. And then if you guys have been through City Park in the last few days, we've made some progress along Miracle Lane there. So where there is fencing is at the end of parking. So we've got that delineation then between the two, the play surfacing and the grass and obviously the parking. And then on the other side where the ball fields are bollards. And that's part of the Miracle Lane paving project that started last year. The crews were on site to install those. So really happy with how that's coming along. And then at your seats, there's paperwork for the Chuck Kosciuszko field signage. We've been working on that. You guys obviously passed to dedicate the fields to Chuck. And so I wanted to get this in front of you guys and get your feedback. We're looking to do a field dedication when junior baseball starts their season, probably in the beginning of May. Yes.
Turn your mic on.
Mr. Hanna brought up a good point. On the sign, it says, "Welcome to Chuck Kosciuszko Fields." One side is Streetsboro Junior Baseball, and the other shows the Rocket. Can we just put our logo in there?
Certainly.
I like that. Which one do you want to do, the seal? The seal or the new logo?
I like the new logo. More contemporary.
The logo.
I mean, that's up to you guys, but I think that would be cool as heck.
The new logo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would it be on both or just the, because I think there's, the second one is, that behind the, like by the bathrooms.
Yeah. I would say do the same on both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, well,
So the new
I
city
agree.
logo, we can do that.
you guys okay with the rest of that?
I didn't hear all of it. You just want the city logo.
Guys okay with the rest of it? She'll bring legislation
good.
forth next time around.
Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
No, I'm sorry. Bless you, my daughter.
Sam, do you need a motion to approve
That's
that, or you're good?
If you guys would like to, yeah, we can do that.
I don't know what you need.
Was this gonna come back to city council, or is it like a, because it's such a low item, you know, low budget item? Like, is that something you guys do internally or whatever? Or,
You can proceed however you guys would like. Pricing for it is less than $1,400 for both signs, so.
You can go border control with that.
yeah, I mean, I do appreciate you just showing us, because there's a lot of times where, like, you know, a sign will, not say, you know, it's better to see a sign like that and be like, oh, hey, why didn't we put the city logo on it versus the school logo? But, yeah, I think, I mean, border control or however you would do that is fine, but
Okay.
it's nice to see what it looks like.
All right, I just have a question for Ms. Edgar. I don't know if I missed this or not, but are there any signs that actually label or show directions of the field numbers? So like, I know I don't know if we talked about that or,
I believe we did talk about this, and we do not have anything out there of directional signage for fields, and that's something on our radar.
okay, all right. I just know sometimes when you go to a game and it's like field 7, you're like, I don't even know where that is, and you gotta drive around and kind of look for your coach and all the other people on the team, so.
Yep,
Okay,
it's
thank
on the
you.
radar.
All right.
That's
Mr.
all I have for an
Amelia,
update.
anything from economic development?
Good evening. On Thursday, we will have our annual Tax Incentive Review Council. We will be going over all of the abatements within the city. I'd like to thank Ted for stepping up. We do have one open spot for a resident that will be appointed by the committee. We had somebody move out of state, and as much as she likes Streetsboro, I don't think she's coming back up here from Florida. And she no longer meets the legal definition of a resident. So if any of you guys know somebody who has some of the ability to see some of the nuance of what I do, you know, we would gladly welcome some more citizen representation.
Is this one meeting a year?
One meeting a year. I try very hard to keep it under an hour. I think in general they're about 30 minutes.
I'll delegate it.
We already got Josh, Mike. I don't know.
I have Wyatt or Ray do it.
All right, thank you for that report. Mr. Chesnowski.
Thank you. In addition to the sign code update that we just brought to you today, we are in the midst of doing the use list update project to update the list of uses in the zoning code. That project is moving forward well. We have a bi-weekly check-in call with the consultants. Mr. Hannon, I know when the contract was approved by council, you said you wanted to be involved. We don't have anything that we are providing yet to the Planning Commission, but I wanted to mention to you and the rest of council that the consultant for the project will be at tomorrow night's Planning Commission meeting to provide a presentation to the Planning Commission on some of the working documents that they've created thus far, and just provide an overview of the project. Obviously, I know it's short notice to attend tomorrow night's meeting, and we have a pretty full agenda, and the presentation will be at the end of all of the other agenda items. But, John, I know you had specifically mentioned wanting to be involved. If you're not able to attend tomorrow night's meeting, perhaps you can watch the video of it afterwards. So I just wanted to let council know that the consultant for the use list update project will be presenting to the Planning Commission tomorrow. They specifically chose not to provide materials in advance of their presentation to the Planning Commission so as not to bias their view of what we've been doing so far. Otherwise, I would have provided something to you, John. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up.
Are you saying useless?
Use list.
Oh.
North and
We
south.
heard useless.
No, I figured that he must be saying use list, but it sounds like.
Mayor thought that was funny.
Which is funny. Thanks for the joke.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that report. Mr. Bill Miller, anything from service tonight? Mr. Miller from the Finance Department?
I asked Bill for his time, so he was very gracious. No, we're working on just getting annual report. We're getting near the end of getting all that compiled for 2025. We've got a couple small projects that are scattered about in our payroll system, so we're working through those. And then, as we alluded to earlier, with Mrs. Glenn, we are doing a workshop, and so I've received 2 emails from Mr. Lampa and Mary Ann, and I need a 3rd council member for next Wednesday. We've actually already been having a couple internal meetings in regards to ideas and different things, so we want to make sure we bring council along. So let me know who the 3rd council member should be, and I will send a calendar invitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that report. Lastly, Mr. Grandinetti from the Law Department.
Thank you. No report this evening.
All right. Item 6, introduction of legislation containing statement of emergency.
None of them. None of them.
So we're just first reading, right?
First read.
All right. T7953, amend ordinance number 2025-185, splash pad restroom trim lights.
This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 2025-185, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Trim Lights of Northeast Ohio for splash park restroom lighting and declaring an emergency in order to complete the project.
Motion to adopt.
Nope, we're not doing that.
Sorry.
We're just moving on.
Never mind.
Okay. T7954, adopt 2025 fourth quarter code updates.
An ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances of the city of Streetsboro and declaring an emergency so that the amendments are in effect immediately.
Thank you. T7955, extend mowing contract with ESK Landscaping for 2026.
This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract without competitive bidding with ESK Landscaping for mowing services for 2026 and declaring an emergency in order to timely execute the agreement.
T7956, contract with Bricker Legal Firm for CVB research.
Okay, it's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract without competitive bidding with Bricker, Graydon, and Wyatt for legal services regarding the Visitor and Convention Bureau of Streetsboro and declaring an emergency in order to timely execute the agreement.
T7957, go to bid for site work for City Center Playground area.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to go out for bid for site work development and general contracting for the City Center Playground area project and declaring an emergency in order to begin the bid process.
T7958, contract for City Center Playground manufacturing and installation.
It is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract without competitive bidding with DWA Game Time for the manufacturing and installation of playground equipment and declaring an emergency in order to expedite the purchase.
T7959, MOU with School District Emergency Municipal Public Communications Coordination, WSTB Radio.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Streetsboro City School District Board of Education for emergency principal public communications coordination and declaring an emergency in order to effectuate the contract timely.
T7960, application for State Capital Improvement Grant Program.
This is a resolution authorizing the mayor and/or his designee to apply for the State Capital Improvement Grant Program and declaring an emergency to expedite the application.
Tony.
So we can continue on with emergency or second reading or whatever at the next meeting, but since we're here,
All right, Mr. Hannon?
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Graninetti. I'm gonna make a motion to allow our Economic Development Director, Mr. Amalia, to apply for this grant.
Second.
So if we do a majority of council support, then
All right, so we have a motion
I
by
can
Mr.
do
Hannon
a roll call to make it clear, yep.
and a
So
second
we
by
got
Mr. Lampa.
No, Mary Ann's not.
Mary Ann, yeah.
we
Mary Ann?
still
I
pass
beat
it
him.
as emergency.
I was trying to beat him last time, but
Yeah.
we're not doing emergency, so.
We would just put this on for the next meeting as emergency.
Yeah, we're going to put it on for the next council meeting, but I want you guys to approve it via motion as well for tonight's purposes.
Okay. So we'll do
I tried to reach out to Steve and Justin, and I didn't hear back from either
Okay.
of them, so.
We're gonna do a roll call, please.
Okay, so motion to allow the Economic Development Director to apply for the grant, and we have Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
and then Ms. Glenn,
Yes.
and Mr. Lampa,
Yes.
Ms. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, then,
First reading, there is none. Second reading, there is none. Well, that was the first reading.
Ms. Kramer?
Third reading, we did already.
we did act on the third reading, but I forgot to clarify that we had been given by email another document that they want to include as part of the exhibit. So we have a document called Engagement Proposal that's labeled as Exhibit A. Then we have another like 4-page document called CRC Connect Service Summary. So this clarifies their actual work they're going to be doing with us. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody's clear that that's part of the exhibit now.
Ms. Kramer, can you let the record reflect that the motion did pass, it did carry for the passing of the grant?
Yes, the motion did pass by majority.
Thank you.
Okay, Patrick, is that what you needed to clarify that exhibit?
Yeah, we're just substituting those exhibits. I was not entirely forthright with the consultant in telling him that property tax might disappear because I didn't want him walking around and talking to all the other cities. Selfish. But when I had an honest discussion, he said this is actually a better fit for you, so we're getting same price, better deal, more stuff. So we're going to be the guinea pig, and I think it'll work out well for us.
Do we need to do anything with that?
We've already passed it.
We've
yeah.
adopted it.
All right.
And it was part of the packet. It was attached there already. I just want to put it on the record, clarify that that's what we're going with.
Item 10,
10, yep.
agricultural placement request of David and Doreen Danner. Need a roll call?
Make a motion to accept this.
Second?
A motion by Mr. Hannon, seconded by Mr. Lampa.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. Lampa,
Yes.
Ms. Wagner,
Yes.
Ms. Glenn,
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo.
Yes.
Okay, so that motion passed by majority. Okay.
Item 11, the mayor's report.
That's gonna put something up on the screen up there. As you guys know, we have probably the most significant disruptive project that we've ever seen. It's gonna be 100 days. It's gonna be 100 days of not so good. And after that, once they get the square done, the most disruptive part is gonna be the square. Once they get the square done, things shall return to somewhat normal because we'll be going to the resurfacing project. And the resurfacing is going to be done at night between 6 p.m. and 5 a.m. So it won't have an effect on the stuff during the day. But the maintenance of traffic is what is truly scaring me. That naturally, Mike North is towards the top, okay?
Blow that up, Matt. Where is it? Oh.
And I don't know if this thing's gonna show up on here or not.
Oh, that's,
You can't even, we're down. It doesn't even show up on there. It gets absorbed. All right, what's gonna happen, you guys? And, we're gonna have another meeting with ODOT tomorrow with a lot better times. I'm gonna go on the radio with Bob on Wednesday afternoon so that we can record something so the people, all this information will be uploaded to the website.
Mr. Mayor, can you lean towards the mic? Caroline can't hear you.
Well, it's the people on the live stream can't hear when you sit back
Okay.
like that, yeah.
All this stuff will be uploaded to the website. It's already on the ODOT website, and we'll give them a link for that. Basically, what is gonna happen, you guys, is on 14, both east and west, you're gonna have one lane of traffic. It'll go down to one lane, probably, since 14 comes up from Ravenna as one lane out of the 3-lane area, it'll probably stay one lane when you get to the intersection of Portage Point Drive, and stay one lane all the way through until you clear the square, then it will open back up. On 14, coming in from the Cleveland area, basically it'll be one lane all the way from Market Square Drive. On 43, it'll be one lane coming from Kent, and on 43 South, it'll be one lane coming from Aurora. The biggest issue that we're going to have, with the exception of 43 North coming from Kent, there will be no left turns in the square.
Oh, wow.
You will only be able to turn left from 43 North onto 14, so those folks can get to 480. Market Square Drive is going to become the busiest street in Streetsboro. Most of the traffic, if you're coming down 43 and you want to turn left onto 14, you are going to be directed to turn onto Market Square Drive, take Market Square Drive down to 14, and make a left-hand turn on 14 from there. If you want to make a left turn from State Route 14 onto 43 North, you're going to be directed up Market Square over to 43. If you want to make a left turn from 14 onto 43 South, you're going to be directed to Market Square, turn right on Market Square, come to 43, turn right on 43, and go down. You're going to do a great big loop, okay? The square is going to be done in what they call three different pours. And there is and was no other way to do it. If they were to parcel it out more, it would extend the time substantially, and we would still have an enormous amount of road blockages to do it. It is going to be, it's not going to be fun. With Page Road being closed, which is taking off some of the, and that'll be open hopefully the 1st of June. And I've been saying all along, I would recommend, if you're coming anywhere from Point South, Ravenna, Edinburgh, Shalersville, Charlestown, any of those places, your absolute best bet is to go up 44 and get on the turnpike and bypass it all. I know it's a toll road, but you're going to be spending a ton of time. If I lived in Red Fox in Shalersville or the trailer park or anything over there, I would definitely go up to the turnpike and get on and go across the turnpike. Also, on 303, where they're going to take the slip lane out and put the new intersection in, 303 is going to be closed at Superior Mount Vernon intersection. You won't be able to go past that, okay? And you will be sent up all the 303 traffic, and any of that traffic will be sent up Superior up to 14 to make a right-hand turn onto 14.
Just make a comment real quick.
Huh?
Can I make a comment real quick? How is it like if one accident happens, like essentially Streetsboro shut down?
In essence, let's hope. This is all gonna start taking effect the 23rd and 24th, and I've already told the chief to put additional personnel on. You guys, we're not the first ones to go through this, okay? I don't know if you remember, a while back in front of Chapel Hill Mall, Howell Road, they completely closed the road for 1 year, and all that traffic had to be diverted. Is it gonna be a PITA? Yeah, you betcha, okay? It is gonna be a real pain for 100 days. If we get through it, well, when we get through it, it's gonna ease up. And the saving grace is that last time we did it was 1997. So it's been 29 years since we've done it. And granted, 1997, we didn't have near the traffic that we have now. But it was still a real tough road to go.
Wasn't Jogga Lake
I would-
open then?
Huh?
Jogga Lake and SeaWorld were open then.
Oh, yeah, they were.
They were, but it's not, it still wasn't the same traffic that we have now. I would recommend to everybody that you start looking around and find an alternative on how to get around the city. I know that Russell Drive and Mount Vernon are going to become very busy, and when we can, we will have additional personnel there because you're going to get frustrated people flying down that road.
Is there a chance that during rush hour, it could be backed all the way up to 480 coming into town?
It could be back to 480, and in the morning it could be almost back to Ravenna if people don't try and find an alternative way. But so you guys, in the morning, I don't want to say the majority, but a lot of the traffic that is on 14 is coming from points east, okay? You know, I live on 14 and I see the traffic that comes through there, and most of it comes from, you know, the Ravenna area and stuff like that. So if those people, if they choose to take the recommendation, and it takes about 7.5 minutes to go from the intersection of 44 and 14 to get up onto the Ohio Turnpike. And it takes less than 6 minutes to go from there to Interstate 480. So it's about a 13-minute trip. You're going to be in traffic. You're going to be in traffic for a long time.
How are the lights going to work with this?
That is going to be explained with, I don't know whether they're going to have them as flashing lights with flaggers. Like I said, we have another meeting with ODOT tomorrow to go over this. The basic part of it, closing the square, it's a given, okay? It's going to happen. What we'll do is we will try and find, we have told them, the Carvo got the paving thing. We have told them, we have no problem with you working 6 days a week, okay?
Get it done.
Yeah, but you guys, that is truly on, I mean, the Ohio the ODOT signs the check. They're the ones that have to approve it, okay? I would like to see them do it, just to get through it a little bit quicker. But I lost sleep this weekend over this, you guys, because it was just, it's not anything that we've done, okay? It is not our project, but it is an absolute. It has to be done. We can't go any longer like that.
I just had a quick question. What happens when, like, these side roads that you mentioned that are like, what if they start backing up? Like, what if Market Square starts backing up into 43 or 63?
John, now you know what kept me up all weekend.
Well, it's just, you know, it's going to be.
It is, John, it's going to be a mess.
I'm just glad I have a way to go around all that, but.
Well, if I were everybody, I would look. Everybody in here has been planning how they're going to get to work. I'm going diagonal to 303 to Mount Vernon, or possibly up Page over, and then come out and come over here on Russell and make a left turn in, because I'm not going to get in that traffic. That's if I can get out of my driveway.
Yeah, if you can make a left turn.
Yeah.
I mean, 14 backs up sometimes past the square when something.
Oh, I mean, it is not and you know, Diagonal Road, when I go home at night, Diagonal Road, it is not uncommon for me to be stopped on top of the hill by the cemetery.
Yeah.
But it moves quick. It's not gonna move quick this time, guys. It is just not gonna move quick.
Two questions. One, just to clarify, the whole project is 100 days or a portion of the project?
This portion, the most disruptive portion, the square portion is 100 days.
Okay.
The rest of the project will be completed before December 1st, and that is the resurfacing. And the resurfacing, like I said, it's gonna be done at night, and resurfacing does not cause the backups that this will cause.
Okay.
You know, because they can have, rolling flaggers, because they're, when they grind in certain areas, and you can go around them, and there's not a lot of traffic after 6 o'clock and before 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And then when they resurface, again, they'll block off a lane, but you'll still have multiple lanes open. It's not gonna, it might be, I don't even wanna say it's gonna be disruptive. It's not gonna be bad at all when they resurface. We didn't have, when they resurfaced it, when was the last time they resurfaced 14? It had to be what, 10, 12 years ago, Billy? No, it's, yeah, the resurfacing is not an issue. This is the issue. The square is the issue.
So
How
is safety forces gonna, if they need to get,
that's why they're coming to the meeting with us.
but I mean, if it's one lane, how are they gonna get, if, as chief
Well,
gets a fire truck out?
They will have the ability to get through there, okay? They're not gonna have the entire square torn up at the same time. There will be a way for the emergency vehicles to get around, okay? Plus, all the businesses will still have access the entire length of it, whether it be through a steel plate. Granted, they're gonna suffer a loss of business. There's no doubt in my mind, because people aren't gonna wanna get out of traffic, but they will have access. But like I said, you know, this is not once in a lifetime. Well, some people, if they're only 27, it can be once in a lifetime, but this is a situation that only comes about every 2.5 to 3 decades.
Did you say 303 is going to be closed at the same time, or when did
No,
you say?
the project at 303 and Diagonal will not have an effect on this.
No, 303 and
The slip road.
Well,
This-
303
the slip
from the
road.
slip lane,
Yeah, when is that happening?
that's gonna happen at the same
Same time.
time this is.
My last question, Mayor, you said you were gonna have extra staffing. Was that for fire and police, or what were you?
Well, I don't know why we would need extra staffing for police, or for fire if we need,
I wasn't sure what you were saying.
oh, no,
Just
no,
clarifying.
just for the police.
Okay, all right.
And we'll find out more on Wednesday, from ODOT what the plan is. 'Cause they're gonna have to have a boatload of flaggers out there. But, you know, I've said it more often than not. I can't apologize, 'cause it's not something that we did, okay? And the people are just gonna have to understand, but the light at the end of the tunnel is this only comes every 2.5 to 3 decades. And number two, this is the last major project that the city will see for at least 5 or 6 years.
I think after the first day that they go through it, they're never gonna go through it again. So I think the first day or two, it's
Well,
gonna be
true.
rough, and then after that, they'll find another way.
Believe me, I know what's coming my way, all right? But I mean, I already told ODOT, I said, I'm gonna point them towards you guys. You know, you designed it and you executed it. But, I mean, people have to understand that this has to be done. And they can't take just like one block out of the time and fix it. This is something that needs to be done wholesale. If there was another way to do it, they would have found out.
How are you planning to release all this information other than talking with Bob?
It's gonna be, it'll be on social media, it'll be on the website. There will be a link to ODOT's website. And I'm sure that the paper will pick up on it too, and I'm sure the BNR will have something on there about it too.
It would be nice to have like a better graphic than that, you know, like with
Well,
arrows, you know.
ODOT
something
is
people can
preparing
see.
one for us.
Okay.
Okay? ODOT is preparing one for us, and when we get that, we will put that out also.
So they'll put the X's for no left turn from
Yes.
Kent to.
Yeah, we talked to them at the pre-con. Billy and I went down for the pre-con last Thursday, and we talked to the PIO guy, and he said, yeah, he can do something like that, and he's basically just designing it now. We got plan drawings, but, I mean, unless you're an engineer, you can't tell what the hell they're saying. And so it's good that he's bringing, you know, he's going to get that out, and we'll disseminate it in every way that we possibly can.
I bet Butternut Lane's gonna be busy.
Well, and you know, you hit on something good there, Mike, because we know that there are going to be an enormous amount of people that cut down Market Square Drive and cut around that road to bypass the whole thing. And that is, I mean, it is private property. And I mean, unless the people that own the place say no, there's really, you know, there's really not a lot we can do. I hope they just don't use it. I just hope, and this is a hope on hope, people use patience and understanding and realize that, you know, we can't go speeding through here and we can't get mad. They've been warned, they've been told. We've been telling them about this project for over a year now.
It's been on the news too.
And it's been on Channel 5. Somebody told me today, they heard it on WKNR, not WNIR, but WKNR. So, I mean, it is getting a lot of play, and people should realize that this is going to happen. So,
All right, thank you for that report.
I'm going to give them all your guys' phone numbers.
I'm gonna be like, hey, sorry, you got the wrong
Yeah,
number.
call the mayor. But that's it, you guys.
Would you like to comment on State of the City?
What's that?
Want to comment on your State of the City?
Well, you guys got the transcript.
It was on here, I just wanted to ask,
Yeah.
make sure, okay. 12, President of Council's comments, went to the State of the City, it was a good time. Mayor did a good job, with his report. And, I have nothing else to report. Ms. Glenn?
Oh, besides, thank you, the ones that did come, thank you very much. I really do appreciate having you guys there.
You're welcome. Ms. Glenn, do you have anything to report, or talk about?
I guess I just want to bring this up, because I don't think I'm the only one thinking this. Does anybody else think this room is just too hot? Because I just think it's too hot in here, and it doesn't look
That's
like
working on it.
we're working on it, because I look over
many
there,
things
and it's
they're
like
working on.
69 degrees, it says, and there's no way it's 69 degrees in here.
Doesn't remember our first meeting in here.
No, it was cold.
Get my coat on.
But you know what? I actually think that might be better, because you know, the hotter it gets, you do have trouble thinking
That's
correctly.
true.
If you're
Just remember, Mr. Lampa has a fan on him, and it has
that's
had
a
one
good
on him
thing.
all night, so that's why he feels okay right now.
Yeah, well,
It's hot over here.
no, it's hot over here too. It's just,
Let me
it's
give you the
blowing on
fans
him.
on.
We had a power outage over the weekend. It caused issues with our HVAC
This is-
system.
This
so-
this has been going on since, besides the very first meeting where it was cold,
Right.
since then, this is now our third meeting that it's been, I think, just,
No, you are correct. They had a part
Oh, I can't see
for
it.
the HVAC unit that
Colorblind.
supplies
Right.
this room.
Okay.
They had a part that was on back order. So what they did, because it was so cold in here, they basically overrode the system, and this is just on heat. So it is forcing a tremendous amount of heat into this room. Without that, it would be really, really cold. I have a call in with the K company, and I don't know if the part's in yet, but hopefully this will be.
okay, so when the part comes in, which was related to it being too cold the first time,
Correct.
this problem will be fixed, it'll be normal temperature. in
Yes,
here.
that is
Okay,
correct.
Good.
Yeah, because this thermostat doesn't work at all.
Okay,
You
well,
can
that's
put
how
it
it
to
seems.
whatever,
Okay,
and
all right, thank you.
Brand new building.
All right, thank you for the information on the temperature. Here, Ms. Glenn. Mr. Lampa?
Just kudos to Miss Edgar. I got 2 residents that actually reached out to me and said the city hall lights look beautiful, that they enjoy seeing it going past versus the old school that we used to have here. So I just wanted to pass that along.
Well, Mr. Hannon, you have enough for 3 individuals, so.
I do not. No, I think I've talked enough, so I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Wagner?
I don't know.
Okay. 14, announcements. Happy St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. Spring begins on Friday, March 20th, 2026. There'll be a Finance Committee and a regular council meeting on Monday, March 23rd, 2026, starting at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. 15, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm hearing none.